Hopefully everyone can hear me. My name is Saj Rafiq. I'm going to talk about Office 365 productivity. Now, I want to make it clear that this session is not for technical people. This is an end user session. So the whole idea for this session is just to give you some tips and tricks that I've seen or I've been speaking to and people weren't aware of how to use, how to be more productive in using Office 365 and ProPlus. Hopefully that's okay with everyone. And in the end of the session, if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to do these sessions with you on a one-to-one workshop basis. So if you want me to come in and show some of this technology to your organization, I'm more than happy to do that. So I guess the best place to start really is Outlook, because I always find no matter who comes in and talks about Office 365 and how wonderful the workloads are and how wonderful all the applications are, the application that we all use the most is Outlook. It's probably one of the first applications we open up when we get into the office. So it's quite interesting that when you look at the ribbon at the top, a lot of us just stick with the standard ribbon. Actually, if we go to this icon here that says Get Add-ins, there's a lot of third-party add-ins that we can plug in to make our lives a lot easier. Now, there's no way I've got time to go through all the hundreds of the different add-ins. But what my suggestion is, spend some time going through these add-ins and looking at what's more appropriate for you. The one that I've chosen just to show you, for example, is one called Quick Scan. It's by Mr. Post. So if you're searching for it, search for Mr. Post. And when I have an email, you'll have your IT department saying, make sure you know who the originator of the email is. Well, if I've got an email from a guy called Sajid Rafiq from Bytes, my demo site is a Microsoft demo site, so it's based in the USA, and the username for this demo site is Megan. So if you're seeing Megan Bowen all over the place and you're thinking, who's Megan Bowen? That's me, and that's my alter ego, should I say. So in here, I've got an email from Sajid Rafiq. If I go to click or quick scan, it tells me actually where that email originated from. So I can see, well, actually, if I look into that, I can see that email has actually come from London. So that's where Bytes are based. That makes sense. If I have another email and I go, there's a one that I did earlier. Very important. Here's one from Lydia, and I go to click. So if I get a lot of spoofing emails, okay, this is a good way to check if it is a spoof email. So immediately it says that's an internal email, not an external email. Okay, and it's gone green and it says it's a safe link. So I quite like that. Now, if you guys cannot see Get Add-ins icon there, there's maybe two reasons there. One, the IT team has taken that off for you and not given you the option to use that. The other is you've just not added it into your ribbon. And all you need to do is in the top left-hand corner, little arrow, customize your ribbon, go to more commands. And if you go to customize ribbon, you can see there is my ribbon here. And there's all the tabs, the home tab, the send and receive tab, etc., etc. They're all there. So if I want to add additional functionality in there, I can do that. And there's that Mr. Post. If I wanted to add my own tab, so as sometimes with ribbons, there could be a lot of tabs that I don't know where they're hidden because you have to go into this click and this click here. So I can create my own tab as well. And that's quite nice. So if I create a new tab, if I click that in the new tab category and I rename that tab, and I can rename it, let's call it Sajid's tab. Okay, call the group, rename. Sajid's group, okay. So if I okay that, you can see now next to my home tab, I've got a special tab called Sajid. If I click in there, I can put all the icons that I need that I use on a daily basis. So instead of searching for it, trying to find it in a quick thing, I can just put those tabs in there. And to do that is very easy. So if I go back to the icon here, click on more commands, click on customize ribbon, I can say, right, what functionality do I want in that tab? And it may be create a new email. I can just drag and drop that straight in there. Okay, that. And now you'll see in the Saj's tab, the new email icon is there. So again, creating your own tab and saying which functionalities do I use on a daily basis, and to find it very, very quickly instead of trying to look across that. Sometimes I would say messy or a very cluttered ribbon is sometimes nice and makes me more productive. Okay, so the next thing I find from a lot of people is they don't know the drag and drop functionality within Outlook. So if I've got an email from Joni here, okay, and it says, I love your sports, or whatever it says, and I say, well, from this, I want to create a meeting. Now, a lot of people would go to the calendar, double click in that and copy and paste that. You don't need to do that. You need to just take that email, drag and drop that straight to the calendar, and it'll put all the email into there. And all you then do is just put the location. If it was a Skype meeting, I want to have a Skype meeting with you regarding this this email that you sent and who I want to add that. It's as simple as that. Okay. And again, I was at an organization last week where a couple of people in that room actually didn't know about that functionality. So hopefully that's quite a nice one for you. And again, it doesn't stop with a calendar. If I wanted to, I could go, if I had an email from, let's see, someone called Sajid Rafiq from Bytes, I can click to the people things and it'll put all the contact details into the contact card straight away for me. And if I wanted this to be a tag or flag later, I can take that email, put it to the task list, and again, it will put it as a task for me to do later. So again, it makes my life a lot simpler from just dragging and dropping those straight in. Now, the other thing is when I write an email, a lot of the emails that I write, I probably are very similar wordings or very similar. So if I had an email, let's say I'm part of HR and I had a lot of job applicants and a lot of those we've rejected. So it's thank you very much for the CV, but at this time, unfortunately, you were unsuccessful. I could just type in a little shortcut, and in this case, I'll put CV and then press F3. And it's just done that for me. Okay, and that's quick parts. So what we can do is sort of say, well, actually, I can cut and paste configured text already. So if we just start from scratch, and I sort of say, well, actually, you know what? If I go to insert, you'll see there's the quick part, and you can sort of see there's that text there. If I click there, that's how I put it in. As simple as that. Now, to create that, in the first place, you could create an email saying, sorry, will not be able to do the function you require. If I highlight that, and then I go to quick parts and go to the bottom, save to a quick parts gallery, okay, and I can give this a name, so I can call it sorry. And I can say the gallery I'm going to put it into is quick parts category general. So the reason about the categories is I could have a lot of different categories. There could be a category around CVs, there could be a category that says technical, whatever, and I can say the appropriate quick part or the appropriate text is in this appropriate category. And I can then say insert content only, insert as an own paragraph, or insert as an own page. So I'm going to say content only, and then I save that. Okay. So now, if I take this off and I go to quick parts, you'll see I've got the CV one and I've got the sorry. So again, and these sentences are very short, but it could be a whole 4 or 5 lines sentences. So as people come in, as I'm typing away, I can just go click, bang, done. As simple as that. So I could have preloaded replies immediately in my emails, and that would save me a lot of time. In marketing, I'm sure that would help. I'm not sure if Cassie uses that in her day-to-day. Do you use that quick parts, Cassie?
No, I don't at the moment, but I think actually there is a few activities that would be quite useful.
Fantastic. So that's quite a nice way of just preloading those replies and making sure that they're available. It saves you typing those out again. The other thing I'm quite surprised about is a lot of people not realizing that when you're sending an email to an external person, and you can insert your calendar. So if you're saying to someone, actually, when are you available? It's sometimes to say, well, I'm going to insert my calendar for the next 7 days, availability only, or limited details, or full details. If I got limited details only, show times within my working hours, click, that's put in. So again, trying to arrange meetings with people outside the organization is going backwards and forwards. Are you free this time? Are you free at that time? This is quite a nice way of just saying, look, here's my calendar for the next week. Or you can customize the range and say, bang, you tell me when you're free and coincides with my calendar, and we can book something in. Hopefully that's useful to you. I'm going to stop there on Outlook because I don't want the whole session to be just on Outlook. As I said, I'm just going to show you a few really nice sessions here and there. Next one I'm going to show you is a Word and some of the functionalities in Word. Now, before we start, I will say this. If you are going to do a brand new document from scratch, please look at the new templates Microsoft is doing here. There are tons of templates and they're constantly being added. If you're doing a change management scenario, wouldn't it be nice to give certificates saying change management on there, okay, to those people? There's loads of things in here. So if you want to do resumes, so you want to go for a promotion within your organization, or you're looking at business cards, actually it's worth looking at. Microsoft has spent a lot of time doing these templates. It's worth, especially when you're doing business cases, they've got some basic templates in there for business cases in there. So we'll kind of come out of this and look at the documents. One of the new functionalities that's come out into Office 2019 is the dictate functionality in the top right-hand corner. You can click that button. So if I've hurt my hand or I've broken my arm, I can just press dictate and it will just start to type away. And you can't see me, but I guarantee you I'm not touching the keyboard. This is just typing as I am talking. New paragraph. And as you see, it'll even do new paragraph and full stops if you ask it to. It takes a while to get used to, but it is very accurate. It's not 100%, nothing ever is 100%, but it is good enough. Okay, we're going to come out of that. The other thing I'm going to do is show you a document that I created earlier, and this is a Word document. I guess this is more for marketing, really, Cassie. So you guys probably do things like this, a very marketing PDF format or a Word document with shots and all about that technology. Do you do things like that?
Yeah, occasionally we do some things internally. We do work with an external agency with some of the sort of artwork that we produce, but there are occasionally things that we do in-house. So yeah, whatever you're about to say is probably going to be useful.
So if we could take a Word document and I can just transform that into Sway. Now, for those who don't know what Sway is, I'm not going to go into that. It's basically transforming it into a web page, a HTML5 format. So if I click into that and say, just transform that into HTML5 for me. So I've got a website look and feel now, so you can see that. And all I now need to do is give people the URL link. That's it, and they have access to this document. And the look and feel would be exactly as a web page. So if you're doing brochures, etc., so there you go. That's the Word document, and now you can sort of see. Actually, now that's the web page. There's the URL for it. Send that out, and it's just done it as a web page. And if you wanted to edit that, and you say, well, I don't want it to scroll, I want it to go from side to side, you can do that functionality in here. You can go to design and you can change things around if you wish. Go to style, go to horizontal, or go to slides. Let's do slides. Let's play that. So now you can see actually that goes as a slide. And again, I don't need to send a Word document. All I need to do is send a URL, and that, as long as they've got a browser, they've got access to that. Okay, so that's quite a nice little trick. And you saw how simple that was. You just literally go to the Word document, go to Files, go to Transform on the left-hand side. And again, that's only in the latest version of Office. So if you're on 2013 or 2016, I don't believe that's in there. It may be in 2016, I haven't fully checked, but definitely not in 2013. Okay, so we've done the dictation, we've done the transforming, we've done the thing. The other thing people really do not take it is at the top, there's all these tabs, and we talked about tabs and the thing, but there is one called Help. And if you click on there, guess what? It's got what's new. If you click on that, that is going to tell you what new functionality is in Office. Okay, so if you want to say, well, I always want to keep up with the latest, it's all there for you, telling you what came into January the 14th, what functionality you can do, etc., etc. So again, if you're on Office Pro Plus, this is brilliant because you will be getting the features on a monthly basis. So again, I've got to stipulate that your IT department might put a delay on this. Okay, in most cases they will, but you can see what functionality is coming in. If you're also not too sure of how to use Word, if you click on Help and go Show Training, guess what? All the training videos and text are there for you. And again, it's a simple thing. It's a tab that we've all probably seen, but just not investigate a lot of the time. So I quite like that functionality. I'm going to come out of Word if that's okay with everyone. Don't save. Come out this. Come out that. Okay. Now let's look at Excel. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's go to a new sheet first. Now I can start typing data, and I can maybe say, look, United Kingdom, France, Germany. You get the idea. I can just type some places in here. If I highlight that, one of the new things that has come in is this data types. So it could be regions, it could be cities. And if I go to the geography bit here, bear with me, I can now add data types. So if I want to know what the capital of those regions are, or those countries, it tells me. If I want to know what the population of that region is, it should be here, population, income, population, boom, it's there for me. Just put that up. So you get the idea. So if I'm doing a regional area and I want to work out what's the population of that city, what's the population of GDPR, etc., I can do that at a touch. And I can also do that with things like, if I go Microsoft, Apple, Google, I can do that, and I can also go into stocks, and it will just show me actually what was the 52 last year's high on those stocks. The reason why I'm showing you this, you may sort of say, well, actually, that's not really. Keep checking in the data types. There's 2 or 3 at the moment. What you'll find is this data type will grow more and more as we go on. Okay. The other thing is you've got all this data here. This is something I did earlier. So I've just made some random account managers, regions, and some services we are selling. Okay, service A, B, etc. Now, that's to me just some random data. But I want some intelligence around that. I'm going to report this to my manager. In the ribbon on the right-hand side is an icon called Ideas. If I click on that, it's taking that data and it's trying to make some sense of it. So it should, there it goes, it's giving me a pivot table, okay, of that data. If I click down, it says there's 33 results we've got from this. So if we go down a bit further, I can just look at some of those results. Bear with me. And it's making, so it'll say, for region Oxfordshire, product service B accounts for a majority of the total. Oh, I quite like that. So now when I'm doing a report for my manager, I can put that in and sort of say, well, actually, I've got this data. What does that data mean? Well, in Oxfordshire, we can see that over 30% we sell service B in there. So hopefully, as I said, as the data changes, it will be different for different people. So let's just take that, delete that. Now, the other thing that you could do, and this happened in Office 2016, so this isn't really for the latest, but again, I'm amazed at how many people aren't aware of this. If I take this data and I put it into a table format, as you can sort of see, and I've saved it into my OneDrive. Well, as soon as I save it into a cloud storage area, I can publish that data. If I click on publish, I can publish it straight to Power BI. Okay, don't need to do anything. I can just take that data and say I want to publish it straight to my Power BI dashboard. My internet's been a bit slow, so apologies for that. You'll see two icons appear on the right-hand side in a minute. There we go. And I can say export the work data to Power BI, and I click on that. Now, be patient. At the bottom hand side, it's doing something. Once it's done that, it says, actually, we've exported this Power to BI, and you can just go click straight to Power BI, and it takes you straight to the dashboard. There you go. Now, to find it, you just click on Workspaces or My Workspace. Click on Data Sets, and there it is. That is demo data. If I click on that, create a report, I can take that data and now just start to slice and dice that. So if I want a list of all the account managers and I want to be able to filter against those account managers, I can do that. I click onto here and go to no. Make that a little bit bigger, so hopefully you should be able to see that. And then if I wanted to, I can just say, well, actually, I want the quantity of the product versus the account manager. Okay, so you can sort of see, I can just do that graph there. So you can service B and against which account manager. And if I just want to see against Saj, I click on Saj and that whole data changes. And if I click on John, I can see what John's been doing. And I want to click on Chris, I can do that. If I wanted to, I could click on the map and say, show me the region and show me the quantity of the product. And so hopefully you should now see, if I also click that. Okay. See the region, and so you can zoom out, zoom in, exactly. So you can see how a Power BI, but what I wanted to show you was how simple it is to get it into Power BI dashboard. I'm not going to go into Power BI too much details, but you got the idea there. We're going to come out of Excel, and I'm now going to show you PowerPoint. So we're going to start brand new PowerPoint from scratch. So let's talk about PowerPoint and what we can do and what we can't do. So straight away, as you saw, as I clicked into the PowerPoint, it gave me some design ideas. So again, out of the box, it says, oh, these are some nice slides that we want you to do. And you can sort of see those slides. If I started typing something in, let's say I typed in cars. Okay, oops, let's do cars. Okay, you'll see the ideas on the left-hand side change to be appropriate to the title. So you can see there's one called cars. Okay. The other thing I'm going to show is if I go to a blank page, and we all know how to do morphing. Okay, let's be honest there. That's nothing new. I've been showing that to people for ages. So if I've got a square shape there and I copy and paste that, And I now take that square, move it here, and turn it to the right like that. And I then go to transition, and I click on morph. You'll see that square morph onto its side. It's quite straightforward. However, if I take that square out and I say I want to insert now a circle, brilliant. And now I want to do the transition. I go from square to circle. You see it won't do that. Now to get around that, if we click on slideshow, actually click on home, click onto arrange and bring up the selection panel. And you'll see that this slide, the shape is called oval, and in this slide, the shape is called rectangle. If I double click on this, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, and then I decide to call that, I don't know, I'm going to call it Sajid, just to so it's easy for me. I click into here, and I double click into this and rename this shape, and you have to do the double exclamation marks, and then call that Sajid. Okay, now, because both shapes are called the same things, if I go back to transitions, and I go to there, and I go to morph, you'll see the square has morphed into a circle. So when I'm doing my presentations, that's actually quite a nice thing to do. I'm not going to show you 3D modeling. If I get time at the end, I will do that, but I'm expecting a lot of you to be shown that by Microsoft or by other people already. The other thing that you guys may not be aware of, and it's only available in PowerPoint Online. This is not available for PowerPoint on-prem. Is if I've got a PowerPoint, and let's say that we use this PowerPoint here, and I open it up in PowerPoint Online, the one functionality I can do is if I go to slideshow, click on slideshow, rehearse with coach. If I click on that, allow, and I can start rehearsing my PowerPoint. So if I click on start rehearsing, it's listening to what I'm saying. It's looking at the title. So if I said productivity in Office 365 by Sajid Rafiq, this is what we're going to be talking about. And some of the things that we're going to cover is this, this, and this. And if I go to the next slide, you'll see that I'm going to cover this, this, and this. If I stop this now and come out, you'll see that it's given me a summary report of my rehearsal. It says I've done a good job, I'd had 2 slides, I spent 23 minutes, my pace was okay. You know, I didn't go too quickly, I didn't go too slowly. It says your average pace over time, so that's the area that I need to be pacing in, and I've done okay. And it gives me some advice, sensitive phrases that I may have said. So if I said something that I shouldn't have said, if there was some GDPR content that I shouldn't have mentioned in there, it will pick that up for me. So it's actually quite a good tool. And again, this is in preview, and it's only available on the PowerPoint online. So if you guys are doing a lot of PowerPoint presentations, I highly recommend this. So I guess the other one is Teams, that all people often talk about, and what you can do in Teams. Now, first thing I will show is that if you are using Teams and you've got a lot of Teams on the left-hand side, you can now, or you have been for a while, being able to say, well, actually, this is a team channel that I use a lot, general here. I can now click that and pin that to the top here. So at the top, you'll see that one's pinned. And if I choose one here, that digital web access, you'll see again, I can pin that one. So I can save my favorite channels, or the channels that I use the most, in there, because we may belong to a lot of different Teams channels, and I don't really want to search or double click. I just want it right there at the top. So that's quite a nice one. I quite like that one to do. The other thing is with Teams, if I look in here, it's persistent chat. So as people type away, the article you're reading has now just gone up. Okay, so you may have 20 people in a team and everyone's writing something, and the article that you read 5-10 minutes ago is somewhere up and you've got to scroll up and down. As soon as you find an article that you want to read, you can say, actually, I don't have time to read it here. Okay, I'm just going to now just save this for later. That one I've already saved. So let's go into here, see if I can save this one. Save this message. Done. And up here it's called save. Okay. If I click on my icon on my face and then go to save messages here, on the left hand side it will show you all the articles I have saved. Okay, so if I read this, I can then just click on that and say, right, I've now read that, I've now read that, I've clicked all the saved messages I want. So I can read those later. Now, if I go back to Teams, up here at the top, I can do / and do things like BRB, be right back. Click on that, and you can see my status has now changed to away. If I said / DND, do not disturb, it will change my status again to do not disturb. If I am searching for someone, or if I want to go to a channel, I can go to / go to, okay, and it will say which channel do you want to go to. I want to go to sales, it will take me straight to that channel. Okay, so don't be scared to use the / here. It's quite a good way to do that. If I wanted to do a / who, I can do a / who, and then I can say, who is Alex? Click, type that away. It will now start typing and it will say Alex is Alex Wilbur, marketing assistant. Okay, who's Alex's manager? Click there. Alex's manager is Miriam. Very simple for me to find people. And it's not just about who is, I can also do the who command, which is, if I click onto here, you can see the type of commands I can ask is who reports to, who knows about, who works with. All those who questions I can ask here, it will go away and find that. And that's actually built in to into Teams. Again, not many people are aware of that. The other thing, again, in Teams, if I click on the left-hand side, click on Help here. If I go to Topics, all the training videos are there as well. All the training videos are there again. So if I get stuck, I'm not too sure how to do something, I can go into that little area and it will teach me everything I need to know. Now, many of you may start using Stream. I don't know if you have or if you haven't. Let's just go into Stream. And if I go to Discover, I go to Videos. Internal safety improvements. That sounds like a nice video here. So I've got a video here, and we may have created this video, but what I wanted to do is make sure that people actually understood this video, actually understood what this video meant and what it said. So if I go back to Office, there is a product called Forms. We'll talk about Forms in a moment and some other places that Forms appears in. But here's a questionnaire that I've created, and here's a question I've created, the internal videos, safety video. Okay, so I could sort of click on that. Okay, and if I say share, I can get that URL link from there. Now, if I go back to Streams, I can say I want a questionnaire about halfway through, and I'm just going to add that internal questionnaire in there. So if I just now copy and paste that into here, give it a name, safety, helps if I can spell, add to timeline. So now, when people watch the video, it will stop and ask them some questions. And the questionnaire pops up. So if you had a 30-minute video and you wanted to make sure that people understood what they what they were listening to, you can ask some questions. Who is the safety officer? Well, it's Saj, of course, it's me, obviously. How many fire exits do we have? 10. And where do we assemble car park? And then I can just submit that. Once I've submitted that, okay, I as the HR person will have a copy of that, and I can now continue. Bear with me while it's saving. Okay, continue. And there we go. What a simple way to get some videos up there. You can record yourselves about how to do something and then see if the people have actually, it's sunk in. And again, Forms is not just for streams. If we started with Outlook, if we go back to our emails, now we do have a voting system in emails, but that's very simple. I've also got the add-in for Forms, and we know how to put add-ins into our ribbon. So I showed that earlier. But if I click on that, I can ask a quick poll. So I know, just bear with me while I sign in. It could be where should we do the next event? So we could do it at the head office. We could do it at the shard. We can do it at the gherkin. Okay, and we can insert that poll. And as I insert that poll, you'll see it's also seed myself, Megan Bowen, that's who I am, in there. And I can also send that to Alex or whoever, whichever group of people I want to send that to. And that email now goes over to Alex. Let's see if I can log in as Alex. Go to Outlook. And there's that email that's in there. If I open up that email, there we go. And then I can say, yeah, let's do it at the shard, or we love the shard, and I can do the vote, and I can see the results as well, how many people done that. Again, it's really nice taking that simple voting system, yes or no, to the next level. And again, that add-in is free of charge. So as I say, investigate the ribbon, investigate what add-ins you've got, and find the appropriate productivity. That's about 40 minutes, and I want to keep it simple and sweet. If you found this useful, please put it on the feedback forms, because I like to do a lot more of these little snippets, giving you some ideas of productivity, how to help you. Hopefully, I would say 60% of this you guys already knew, but there may be one or two things you didn't know, and hopefully that will help you. Okay, the only other thing I will say is it shows you how Office 365 is constantly developing, and at Bytes we do have a training department. So if you guys want some additional training, or you want to talk to one of the CSSs more about change management and how to do that, please speak to us. If you want some training courses on how to use Office 2016 or 2019, there is Rachel Gill who heads up the training team. Apart from that, I'm now going to pass back to Cassie, if that's okay.
Thanks, Saj. Are there any questions on anything that you've seen today? So PowerPoint or Word, Teams, Outlook, anything more that you had a question around that maybe Saj didn't quite touch upon that you're desperate to know at the moment? Just pop it into the questions box on the right-hand side of the screen. As Saj mentioned, there are some training services that are available. There are also some one-to-one engagements that we can come and do, where we can go into more detail around specific requirements of yours. So if you just put that in the feedback form, wherever you're interested in, we can kind of help facilitate that. But it doesn't look like there's any questions for now, which I guess is a good thing, Saj.
It's a brilliant thing. It means that I did my job correctly. But hopefully, guys, you saw that and you learned something out of that. And as I said, anything that you do put down, we'll try to get hold of, or put it on the feedback form. I'm more than happy to have one-to-one conversations with you. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's everything for now. Okay, if you do think of anything, then you can reach out to your Bytes account manager, or you can email tellmemore@bytes.co.uk, and we'll do our best to get a response for you. So I'll let you all go for the rest of your morning, and thanks for joining us today. Thanks, Saj.